It has officially been 30 days since I bought the Whoop 4.0, and after wearing it straight for 30 days, I wanted to give my opinion and feedback and let you guys know if I think it's worth it. I decided to get the Whoop 4.0 to constantly track my fitness, sleep, stress levels, and recovery. I have already owned an Apple Watch for over 3 years, but I wanted to get something that would do a better tracking on my sleep, provide me more useful data, and be able to keep it on for 24 hours a day. Now, I will say that there are some major flaws with this device that you should definitely know about before you buy it. But yeah, we'll get to that later in the video. And my main objective of this video is to help you guys decide if this thing is worth it. And just a quick note, I am not sponsored by Whoop. I purchased this with my own money purely because I really did genuinely want to buy this device for myself. So I'm going to try to give you guys the most honest review possible. All right, so before we get into the feedback and all of the opinions on this watch, let's just go over a quick overview. So the Whoop 4.0 does not have any sort of screen. It's marketed as a fitness tracker, not a smartwatch or anything else like that. So its pure focus and pure objective is just to be worn 24 hours of the day and track as much fitness data as possible. Some of the main selling points of the Whoop 4.0 is that it can be worn literally 24/7. It's marketed to have an extremely long battery life, which they say should last up to 5 days. It has a fascinating way of charging where you can literally put the charger on your wrist, so you never technically have to take off your Whoop. It is 100% waterproof, and it is wearable in a bunch of different body parts. So I'm actually wearing the wrist strap right now, but you're able to wear this thing on your arm. You're able to wear it in your underwear. You're able to wear it in a t-shirt. There's a bunch of different ways you can wear this product. And you can buy different mounts for it on Whoop's website. Now, something that is extremely important that you need to know about the Whoop is that the Whoop is not a one-time purchase. So you don't just buy this Whoop and then instantly own your Whoop and you can use it for the rest of your life. They actually have this product set up as a subscription service, which honestly was one of the main reasons I was hesitant about buying it in the first place. So to dumb things down, you pretty much are renting this thing for between $18 and $30 per month, depending on which subscription you sign up for. I did go ahead and sign up for the annual plan, so I think I paid around $250 for it, but it is something important to note because for me, it was a pretty big bummer knowing that if I want to keep using this thing, I'm going to have to continue to pay. So why did I personally buy the Whoop 4.0? Well, I already owned an Apple Watch, so I was already tracking a bunch of data that this thing tracks, but I wasn't 100% happy with some of the metrics that Apple Watch includes in their statistics and recordings. One of which is sleep. So I've been getting extremely dialed in and serious about my sleep. I've been trying to do all these methods by winding down, not eating before sleep, staying hydrated throughout the day, not using technology, an hour before you sleep, you can name it. And I wanted a metric or a way to be able to track my sleep every single night, knowing if I'm actually making a difference. I also wanted something that I could wear continuously, not having to continuously charge it, something that I could comfortably wear at night. And I am a big watch guy, so the Apple Watch was hard, definitely in night settings where I wanted to put on one of my watches. So yeah, I can literally wear the Whoop with a watch, no problem. And last but not least, I wanted a device that did a better job of giving me the information and the statistics that it was tracking. I was never really happy with the way Apple gives you your health information. So let's talk about the setup of this device and my experience using this on a day-to-day basis. So charging this thing is extremely easy. I'm actually a pretty big fan of how they have it set up. You pretty much plug in the charging block or the charging battery just via USB-C. You can let it charge while you're wearing this thing out doing your thing. And then whenever you need to charge it, you just slap it on top of the Whoop and you can just continue on with your day. It does look a little silly having the battery when you're just walking around out in public with the battery pack on top of it. But to be honest, I don't really care what other people think, so it's never really stopped me from charging it on the go. It also doesn't take that long to charge it from the charging block. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes, but I never felt like, wow, this is charging very, very slow. It was always like I would stick it on, and then 30 minutes to an hour later, I'd get a notification on my phone saying that my device was fully charged, and just continue on with my day. Now, they market that it lasts around 5 days. I would say probably every 3 to 4 days I will charge the Whoop, mainly because I do want to have it charged to a certain point before I go to bed every night, as I don't want it to die in the middle of the night. But yeah, it lasts a pretty long time, so I wouldn't worry about it not lasting long enough for at least 2-3 days. Next, the comfort and the fit. I actually do really like the feeling of the Whoop. I know that some people don't like things on their wrists. It's never been a big issue for me. Also, when it comes to writing with a pen or typing on a keyboard, the material that is on the bottom of your wrist is extremely thin, so it doesn't really bother me at all when I'm working on my computer or writing or anything like that. When I'm wearing a normal watch, I usually have to take it off when I'm typing on a keyboard or anything like that, because it does kind of bother me, so that's to the contrary of that. After a day or two, you pretty much just forget that it's even on your wrist. So this thing connects to your phone via Bluetooth. There has been a few times where my phone has died, or I would accidentally turn the Bluetooth off on my phone, but it's never been an issue, because as soon as I turn the Bluetooth back on, it will refresh it with the Whoop. Now, I will say it's not like an instant refresh. It usually takes like 5 to 10 minutes for it to completely catch up on the data. But yeah, just keep that in mind. If you accidentally turn your Bluetooth off, it will take some time to see the information that's on the Whoop. One thing I did want to mention is that this thing does start to smell pretty bad after 2 or 3 days. So what I've been doing is just taking it off when I'm in the shower and washing it with just regular shampoo, and it has completely fixed that issue. Just something I wanted to mention and note. And last but not least, this thing actually has a built-in alarm. So whatever time you set to wake up in the morning, it will start vibrating on your wrist. And I've absolutely loved that feature, because it's just kind of like a gentle way of waking you up in the morning. So now let's talk about the app, because this is supposed to be a big part of the Whoop. So when you log into the app, you'll be prompted with 4 different sections at the bottom, which will be the home, the plan, the community, and more. Most of my time I spend on the app is in the actual home tab. So in the home tab, you'll get an overview, you'll get a sleep tab, a recovery tab, and a strain tab. So with that all being said, I want to cover the metrics that I personally find myself looking at every day. And then I also want to cover the metrics that are there, but I pretty much never look at them. So for the metrics that I look at every single day, number 1 is for sure the sleep tab. I always pay attention to my time in bed. I always pay attention to my sleep consistency. Then a really cool feature is that it actually breaks down the amount of time that you were awake during the night, that you were in light sleep, that you were in deep sleep, and that you were in REM sleep. And my absolute favorite part of the Whoop is that it gives you a sleep score the next day. The next tab is recovery, and recovery pretty much takes your resting heart rate, the amount of sleep that you got the night before, your respiratory rate, and your HRV, and they give you an idea of how you are recovering. This is also a really great metric that I look at every day, because I'm constantly trying to improve my recovery and really my HRV, which is my heart rate variable. Then last but not least, you got this strain tab, which you pretty much can see all of the activities that you did during the day, the amount of calories you burned, the amount of steps that you took, and then yeah, how ready you are to take on, days in the future. Now, this thing also has like a sleep coach in it. It has a planning tab where you're able to come up with all these sorts of goals. It also tracks your blood oxygen level, your skin temperature, and the whole idea is to pretty much give you training and steps to be able to improve all of these areas of your life. Now, again, this is just personal feedback. I have not found myself diving deep into all of these things, because just being honest, they were a little bit confusing on how I set it all up. And I just feel like there's a lot of things that I would need to manually check and track within the applications. And also, I joined a group with a few of my friends where we're able to see how other people are sleeping in the group and how many calories your friends are burning, which for me is great because it just adds a little bit of competition and keeps myself wanting to constantly improve. So has the Whoop been better than my Apple Watch, for example? Well, there's definitely things that a smartwatch or an Apple Watch does that this thing doesn't, like give you notifications, allow you to make payments using GPS, having a screen telling time, for God's sake. And a lot of these devices actually do track a lot of the same things that the Whoop does. However, the Whoop just pretty much lives on your wrist. You don't think about it. It's not distracting. It gives you better statistics really on the sleep and the recovery aspects, and it's literally easy to wear 24/7. Now, some downsides I did want to mention about the Whoop, and I think it's important for you guys to know before you proceed with buying one of these things, is again the subscription, which in my opinion is not the best way about going about it, but whatever, just know that you're going to be paying a subscription for this thing. Number two is that you're not going to get on-screen data. So for example, if you're working out with an Apple Watch, you can just look down at your watch and it should tell you, what your BPM is. It'll tell you what the time is. It'll track some of the other metrics that the Apple Watch does. But with the Whoop, you're not going to get live on-screen action. You can go into the app and you can start a workout, and then you can look at your BPM by looking at your phone, but it's not the same experience. Number three is that this thing is not a medical device. So there's no ECG and there's no emergency alerts that something like the Apple Watch does offer. And last but not least, guys, the app has a lot of information. That you might not understand. You might not want to go through all this complicated statistics and information. And yeah, it can be overwhelming at times when you pop open this Whoop app. So with that all being said, should you guys go out and buy a subscription for the Whoop 4.0? Well, I think this thing is absolutely perfect for people that are athletes, biohackers, or anybody who takes their recovery and fitness seriously. Basically, anybody who wants to take a scientific approach to improving their sleep, improving their health, improving their fitness, and be able to track all of this data on a day-to-day basis. And unless you guys are adamant about wanting to track your sleep on the best level possible, and you already have an Apple Watch in your pocket, just think twice before buying a subscription to an item that you'll just have to continuously pay for if you continuously will want to use it. So let me know down in the comments below if you guys would buy the Whoop 4.0 here in 2025. And if this video helped you make your final purchasing decision, make sure to leave me a like and subscribe. If you guys enjoy video production content or anything in the self-help, self-improvement niche, go ahead and check out my channel. And as always, guys, peace out.